All right. Welcome to Master Memories, the podcast where my friends talk about their lives. I'm here with Dominic Joseph Julian, a.k.a. Dom. Yeah. Do you have any other nicknames?
Not really. My sister's called me the Bud for a while. That's about it.
I love it. And then today is June 5th?
Yes.
June 5th, 2022. Yeah, because Patrick's birthday was yesterday. So, Dom, what is your first memory of me and you?
I think it would have to be... Did you live with Josh freshman year? Or with Hudson?
I lived with Evan freshman year. I lived across
the hall from them?
Yeah.
Did Adam live with them?
Adam lived with Hudson freshman year.
Oh, because I remember seeing the poster of him and Hudson, the basketball thing.
Yeah.
At some point in their room. But I got to meet Josh and Hudson freshman year through AK Psi. And I remember you somehow being involved when I went to go meet them. Like you were in their room or in the hallway, and then it came out that you were in ATO, and we were talking about that. I'm like, oh, I know a kid. Or when did you join ATO?
That must have been sophomore year. Cause also,
you joined sophomore year?
That's when we had the poster and that. Because me, Evan, Hudson, and Adam lived all together sophomore year.
It was then. Yeah.
So I didn't know you freshman year.
I guess not.
You hated me. So what were you doing before we started filming today?
That's embarrassing, man. Nothing. I was telling you, I stayed up way too late last night playing Elden Ring and just talking with my roommates Todd and Matt, and then woke up at about 11. Watched some of the Wales-Ukraine soccer game with my other roommate, Rayan. Wales was up 1-0. I don't know how it ended. There was like 30 minutes left. Drank a protein shake, did a tiny at-home workout, talked with a different roommate, ate breakfast. And it's sad that it's now mid-afternoon.
Hey, look, if you enjoyed your time, it's not time spent, or time wasted.
Of course.
Plus, I mean, hanging out with the roomies, especially, like, in this, like, little period of, like, freedom before everyone, like, leaves, gotta, spend the good time.
Yeah, I actually talked with Derek about that last night, because he was saying, we were both talking about how, like, we're doing embarrassingly little these days, which is weird. But it's also like we're not going to have 4 weeks to just absolutely do nothing ever again, probably, unless you take like crazy amounts of PTO or something, or get fired or retire until we're like 60s. Yeah. Probably won't just have time to do nothing. And when we're that age, we're probably not going to be wanting to do the same things we're doing right now, like stay up till 4, talking to roommates, drinking, and playing video games.
Exactly. Like, this is probably the most free you'll be in your life ever, because, like, you already have your responsibilities set up, but you don't have to start them yet, you just have nothing.
That is a scary thought, but you're not wrong.
And until, like, I guess you're retired, but even then, like you said, like, you're not going to have the energy that you have now, so.
I'm playing Beer Die with the other retired homies on the street.
Dude, all I want is just, like, to rent out, like, a frat house and, like, have all of us, like, in our 60s, 70s live there as, like, a retirement home, just, like, die up. Oh, my hip.
If we all team up and go to the same retirement home, that'd be so cool.
Dude, that's the dream. Like, I was, like, I don't understand why you can't just turn an apartment complex into, like, essentially a dorm, Like, just have everyone of your friends living there, just, like, open door, open hall policy.
That would be pretty nice.
Yeah. To be fair, you'd have to get a lot of people to live in the same apartment complex, which I have no idea how easy that is.
Where are you living next year?
I'm on 14th.
Okay, you with... oh my gosh.
Come on, that's so rude.
Are you with anybody?
I'm with 8 guys.
Okay, how do you know them?
7 are from ATO, one's was pledging ATO for like 2 weeks and then dropped. And then one of them is only living there for a semester, so after that it'll be 7 guys, but it's
That'll be fine. It's pretty much like your dorm situation.
Exactly.
Open door policy with some homies just like this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not close with any of them, or nearly as close with any of them as I am like my current roommate, so it's gonna be very different because I feel like I've like always added like my best friends just closer and closer, except for maybe Ben, who's like ended up being one of my best friends, but like that was just one person who I wasn't that close with. Now it's like 8,
Yeah.
So it's gonna be an interesting journey. You excited to live with Sean in downtown?
I am excited to live with Sean. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think our place, I don't know did I show you our place last night?
Really. Sean gave me a virtual tour the other week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice place, and somebody that wasn't like I'm best friends with Sean right now, but it's one person I think that I could become really, really tight with, so I'm pretty pumped about that. And I think you just naturally get close with the guys you live with, because when there's nothing to do, like, they're 5 feet away. Yeah. They're forced to hang out with you, and you're forced to hang out with them, and so, like, it makes you closer.
That, and I feel like just the like, hangout spot or like whatever room that is, just like everyone just gravitates there.
Yeah.
Like no matter how close you are with anyone, like I mean I've met so many people from like AKSI, BPAD, both I guess, just like all the different groups around campus, regular pad, ambassadors, like just like walking into our pool room and just like talking to whoever's there.
Yeah. Yesterday when I walked into your house to get a tennis racket from, it was going to be from Josh, but he didn't have it, so I got Hudson's. Just Jordan Hunt and, what's his name? Nutter were just sitting in your living room. Like, neither of them live here.
Yeah.
Just vibing in your living
People
room.
People just appear, and it's awesome. Yeah. Also, speaking of Badzik, has he told you about those pictures?
How many did he get? 7?
7. Yeah, he printed a bunch of pictures of himself and framed them, and now he wants to give them to all the BPAD houses, and so they can like frame or like hang it up in their house.
He'll live on.
Yeah, no, it's like how like some houses have like JFK pictures in their house. It's wild. What does your typical day look like right now?
Oh, that's another tough question. It's pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
I'm from Columbus, so I bounce back and forth between here and home. We got a puppy. My parents did a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Oh my gosh, I'll just show you a picture real quick, dude. I'm obsessed with her. But it's just kind of bouncing back and forth between here and home because I gotta watch the dog some days.
Oh my goodness. Look at those ears.
Yeah, really floppy.
Oh my goodness. I love a good floppy ear.
Let's see. Oh, this looks really cute. Like little whiskers in this one. But yeah, so we got a puppy. Her name's Rocky, like Rocky Balboa.
That's awesome.
And my parents work full time, and so like with a puppy, they don't really have time to let it out every day of the week. So like sometimes I just have to go home like Mondays and Tuesdays to watch the dog because then they can handle the rest of the week.
Yeah.
So I kind of just bounce back and forth. I've been reading a lot more, still not nearly enough as I should be, but all sorts of stuff like some fiction. And then my sister got me a book called The Practice of Groundedness, which is pretty helpful. I think it's also nice to read before starting a full-time job and getting into like lifestyle creep and balancing work and life. So that'll be important. Playing a lot of FIFA against Rayon, my roommate, and a lot of Elden Ring as a house. A lot of board games. We play Ticket to Ride a lot and Catan.
Yeah.
And that's about it. It is not a productive life right now.
It's an enjoyable life, though.
It's good. Oh, and also trying to work out, but I didn't get the summer pass for the gyms because I leave at the end of the month, and so I don't want to pay whatever it is to be there for 3 weeks. So not like the prison workouts in the house and all stuff, but
during Memorial Day weekend when the gym was closed, I forgot how like the RPAC spoiled me because I was like I need to do like a shoulder press, but like in our basement you can't do it standing up because like the ceiling's so low. So I was just like, well, I guess I'm just gonna.
I might have to hit a workout in your basement with you, man.
Dude, it's interesting down there. Let me tell you, because also we have 2 adjustable weights and one of them just doesn't work anymore. So it's stuck on like 30. I want to say.
It's not a bad weight to be stuck on, but it's annoying.
It's not, but it's like the whole point of it was to be adjustable. It doesn't do that anymore.
Who brought all that stuff?
Evan, which is hilarious because I don't think he's touched it. Do you like bouncing back and forth between houses right now?
I like being here a little bit more just because all my friends live pretty much on this street or within like 2 streets north and south.
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting to be that point of the summer when some of the friends started to move away. When everyone was in Europe, I didn't care as much.
Yeah.
Obviously, I like to hang out with my roommates. When I go home, there's really not much for me to do.
Yeah.
I can read, I can hang out with the dog, I can watch TV, but like, I don't know, like it's just you at the house by yourself. So I like being here a lot more because that's where all the roommates are, and knowing again that we're all moving away in a month and a half or so. Getting to try to spend as much time with them as you can, but it also goes both ways because I want to spend time with my parents before I move away. So it's nice being able to do both and not being from super far away where you'd have to choose. But I like being here a little bit more, even though I'm so unproductive here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it sounds like both places are just pretty like low key.
Yeah.
At home I guess is more like, to your point, like a productive low key. Whereas
it's like yard work and do stuff on your laptop or read, and then here it's like Xbox.
Yeah.
Or workout.
Again, if you enjoy your time spent, it's not time wasted.
Exactly.
Where do you lean politically and why?
I think growing up, I was surrounded by a lot more people that were right.
Mhm.
And then throughout high school and especially college, I have moved a lot more left. But I'm Catholic,
Mhm.
and so like things like abortion and stuff, a lot of people are like, oh, you're a single issue voter, but I don't agree with the church's stance on a lot of things.
Mhm.
I also don't know how anybody can really argue for gun rights right now with what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
I think that's really messed up. So I'm definitely more left,
Yeah.
but I gotta get at every single issue. But I disagree with the church's stance on a few things, even though I am Catholic and most people would probably peg me as a certain voter because of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm also don't know. I'm probably gonna need to change my official residence so I can vote in Illinois next year.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do that.
That's a good question. I would love to say I know.
We're gonna
But
have to figure that one
Columbus boys have just been here our entire life. We don't need to think about that stuff till now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that with everything that happened in Uvalde, I think it's pronounced, like, I don't know. It's crazy how like now there's like more mass shootings like per day than there are.
Dude,
like,
yeah. I think there was just another one in not Pittsburgh. No, my roommate was on Twitter this morning, and he's like, "I just saw another one." Like, it just pops up on your feed like it's nothing anymore. Like it's a funny person tweeting something out. Like happens
Like,
every single day.
Do you remember how like time kind of stood still after Sandy Hook? And like this one was like the second biggest one since Sandy Hook, and it was like in the news for like a week. And even then, like that was like that was a long time for like that now, and now it's just like kind of dying out again.
Yeah, and dude, like, we don't have cable here. I'm sure you guys don't have cable hit this house.
Yeah.
But when I go home and like the news is on, it's so sad. It's like you're kind of desensitized to it because like you might read about it if you read news articles, but you don't like watch the news. But when you watch like the nightly news, it is all so depressing these days, and it's all like them interviewing the parents who lost like a 7-year-old daughter to this school shooter. It's like that is horrible.
Yeah, I can't imagine having to do that. Like when it's so fresh too.
Yeah.
I always said so. Every night growing up, my dad would throw on the 6:30 news. R.I.P. Brian Williams. He's not dead. He just lost his career.
No longer works for the news station.
God, I miss him. I actually Halloween one year I went as Brian Williams. I loved Brian Williams. Oh my God.
How do you dress up as someone like Brian Williams? Just like a suit.
Just like nice clothes. I think I like got some like gray like hair spray or something like that. It wasn't great, but it's what I wanted to do.
That's awesome.
But I like after like a couple of years, I looked at my dad and I was like, "Is the news just always sad?" Because like whenever you like hear anything in the news, it's just like depressing. And like I get like it gets buzz to like or it's like when you talk about happy stuff, it doesn't usually spread as much.
Ratings.
Like, yeah, and kind of also it's probably not as important as like other problems going on in the world. Because, solutions aren't really that much. But I don't know. I agree that, like, I feel like with the spread of, like, the internet as well as, like, social media and a lot of things, and I sound a little bit like an old man, but I feel like it's so easy to become desensitized to stuff now. It's just, especially now that it happens so much, it's just you're numb more than anything. So what's your relationship like with your family?
I am very tight with my family.
Really?
Yeah, so I have a twin sister and 2 older ones, 25 and 27. And we're all, obviously me and the twin are the closest of the 3, but we are all really close. And I think that coming to Ohio State, because I went to a Catholic high school, and so it was also like really Italian, and so there's like generations of kids there, like a third of the school was related to each other, like in some like distant cousin way.
Really?
And so like family was really important in like growing up. And then coming to Ohio State was the first time that I met people that were like, oh, yeah, I hate my sister. Or like, oh, I haven't talked to my dad in 3 years. And I'm like, what? Because there's been so many people here. It's bound to happen. I was just in a bubble of Catholic Italians that didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
But family is very important to me, and we're all really tight. And like my parents, I think they wish I came home more often. But
I feel like every parent thinks that.
Yeah, but home feels a little bit less like home when all your sisters, like you grow up with everyone there, and then like we're in 4 different states right now because Jesse's in Wisconsin, Abby is technically in California right now, but she went to school in Nebraska, and then Katie is at Penn State. So we're all over the map, but we're also really really close, especially me and the twin.
I'm glad. To your point on like the house feeling different, I feel like when like people like move their stuff out and like there's not just like in their room but like stuff around the house that like just like shifts. It's like it's like, do you ever like drive around like your hometown and just like kind of like, oh, like it feels the same but like not at all at the same time?
They're building. I live right by Polaris Mall
Really?
in Topgolf. If you've
Yeah.
been around that area,
Yeah.
and like none of that was there like
Yeah.
10 years ago. It was literally just like not a dirt road, but like grass on either side, and they added the IKEA way exit. I was like, oh, this is really cool. And now you go there, and there's stuff lining the road the entire way. They put a new B-Dubs there, Fresh Time, like this random stuff that just keeps popping up. And I feel like it'll be really weird to then move away and come back and visit my family, like not frequently, like a couple times a year, and just see every time you go, like something new will be there. Like,
Yeah.
that's different, or that wasn't there.
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten that a little bit whenever I go back to New Albany and just like, oh, like that restaurant's new, or oh, this construction's different, or like, oh, this thing finally opened. Or, like,
Oh yeah, that'd be a cool feeling.
yeah, but like I feel like to your point, like when we move away and as like the trips become less frequent and like the things change like a lot more over that time, like I don't know, it's gonna be interesting.
A weird feeling. It's also funny, like going home. I like going home, but I just moved all my furniture from home into this house.
Really?
And I'm gonna move it all from there pretty much to Chicago. And so, like, when I go home, I have, like, a tiny little bed that was, like, a leftover bed from someone's dorm room or college apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, a chair in my room. It's pretty much all I have. So, like, there's not much to do. The bed's also too small for me. Like, my feet hang off the edge. So, like, I sleep... And my parents were renovating the house, like, the kitchen area for a while, and so they were also, like, cleaning different parts of the house, and they just threw a ton of stuff on my bed, like, in my room. So when I went home a couple months ago, like for it was a stretch, I would just go home and sleep on the couch at home. I'm like, why don't I just stay at campus where I have my full bed, which is kind of comfortable.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's different going home. It feels a little bit different. But I forget, what's your sibling situation?
So Gabby is in Arizona.
Okay.
She just got married, and that was the first
Good
time.
for her. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember you going to that wedding.
Yeah, it was a great time. That was the first time I've been out to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
She's been there since we were juniors in high school, sophomores in high school,
Okay.
something like that. They've been there for a little bit though.
Do you like her?
No, that doesn't. That's not right. That's not right because. No, because she's been there since we were sophomores in college. Because she came and lived in my house my senior year of high school. I forgot.
Okay.
I thought that was freshman year for some reason. So she's in Arizona. Getting closer with her over time.
Mm-hmm.
Michaela is in Atlanta, Georgia, doing city and regional planning at Georgia Tech, and killing it there. Doing consulting this summer actually for some like small like environmental consulting place.
Good
So
for her.
yeah, no, the between her internship, Gabby just got a new job. My mom just got a new job. My dad just got a new job. I just started
You
my
got
job.
the job.
Like the Master family is feasting.
A whole new life for the Master family.
Yeah, no,
That's
we're
awesome.
we're like, I don't want to say we're killing it, but like.
Are you guys all like excited? Like it's all good new jobs. It's not like
Yeah, so my mom has been job searching for the last like 2 years just because like her manager like didn't like was essentially like trying everything she could to like not get my mom promoted because like my mom was like too valuable for the team to like lose.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah, that's really messed up.
Yeah, my dad has been working for himself since I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
Real estate across Columbus or Ohio, but like 90-something% Columbus. So he just started with Giant Eagle for doing brokerage for Ohio.
No way.
And he's still got his own company. He's like winding that down, but
Is he excited about that, or like working for yourself and then going to work for a different company would be a switch?
I think, on the one hand, you don't have the freedom that you do when you're working for yourself and that, but on the other hand, I think the thing that both my parents and like our entire family, I guess, is like really excited for is like when you work for yourself, you're never off the clock. Like
yeah, there's so much stability if
like,
you're working for someone else.
You do choose your hours, but like at the same time, like if a client calls you at like 8 a.m. on a Sunday, like you got to kind of pick that up.
Yeah.
What is your most unique talent?
I feel like questions about talents are always really odd because people feel like they don't have any talents, and I'm one of those people. You either have an answer right off the bat or you don't have any talents.
Yeah.
I can very not well. I can play the ukulele.
Really?
My twin got me one of those for Christmas, I think, probably like 3 years ago. and I got Over the Rainbow down by the big guy, I think it was.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a little bit unique. But other than that, and this sounds lame, but I mean, I don't think I have anything super crazy to offer. It's not like I'm a crazy good runner, or I definitely can't sing. I can't dance.
I don't know about that. I've seen you at the bars.
Then I'm sorry.
Yeah. I agree to your point of like people like either have an answer or they don't, which I think kind of it's a question. Yeah.
Yeah. We actually about talents. One of my freshman year roommates. It was me, Brian, and then two other guys named Zane and David. And David was a wizard at the piano.
Really?
He's also just a crazy smart. Both Zane and David and Brian, all crazy smart people. And I think David graduated in 2.5 years with a physics major from Ohio State.
2.5 years.
Yeah. And then Zane graduated. I'm gonna butcher this. It was engineering, but I don't think it was computer science engineering.
Aerospace,
No.
or electrical, or computer, mechanical.
I thought it was something with physics, but also had something with computer science, but I might be getting the two of them mixed up.
Gotcha.
But both doing great. But I remember freshman year, David would play piano in the living room of Taylor, like the common room of Taylor Tower.
Really?
Where they had that piano, and it's
Yeah.
an honors dorm, so like there's always a kid out there playing it.
Yeah.
And he also played at the Newman Center for church.
Really?
And so he would like go practice the church stuff, and then like go over and play it. And one time, me and Brian or a friend or two were sitting in the common area studying, and he's playing. And as a joke, we're like, David, like, why don't you play the sheet music we found? It's Gucci Gang by Lil Pump. He looks at it for like 3 seconds, and then plays it beautifully.
Bruh.
It was, and we were all just floored. And like everyone in the common room was like, this is so cool. I mean, it sounded really good on piano too. Like that song sucks, like objectively, but on piano, it sounded really good.
Damn, I am envious of people that can like do stuff like that. Like, I've always wanted to learn an instrument. I just haven't. But I mean, the people that can like you said, like just look at something or like even hear something.
It's as easy as like reading a book is for us. It's like, oh, okay, what?
I had a buddy at summer camp who was able to like you give him a song, he could just play it on violin, just like kind of like think about it and just like do it. Like I remember one summer when like Call Me Maybe was out, he like figured out how to play it on violin.
No way.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Kid was cracked. He's actually at Ohio State. I haven't seen him since camp. Yeah.
Okay.
So
what camp was it?
Emma Coffin.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
It was great. It was best 6 summers of my life.
6 summers?
Yeah. So first 5 summers were 3 weeks as a camper, and then the 6th summer was 4 weeks in Israel, and then 3 weeks with like 1 week rotations as like a counselor in training.
That's so cool.
It was great. I was friends with him from like the summer going into like 7th to 10th grade.
Okay.
Because he didn't do the last summer with us, or he didn't come back, I guess. But yeah, no, I wonder how that kid's doing.
That's when I think back like a person that you ran into or that you used to be friends with. You're like, man, I wonder how they're doing today. Yeah. It's so easy to text them, but probably won't do it.
Yeah, because it's like, is it gonna be weird? You know, like it's like I don't know, friendships that are like the people that you used to be like so close with and talk to like all the time that like you're just not as close with it. It's like how do you? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling.
Yeah, and it's sad, but at the same time, it's like it's not anyone's fault. It's not like a bad thing. It's just how things went.
Yeah.
Who was the last person you fell in love with?
My current girlfriend. Pretty easy answer.
Yeah. Figured you'd say yeah, it's to that question's point, it's interesting asking people with girlfriends that...
Oh yeah, how do they answer it when they don't have a girlfriend?
Usually last,
for 3.5 years.
Last girlfriend, last boyfriend. But like, that might, I don't know. It's, like I said, like, you kind of know when...
Yeah.
Asking someone who like is currently dating someone, or maybe like on a newly dating someone. I don't know, but it's a fun question.
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing when you first got the news of COVID?
We were on spring break.
Yeah.
Sophomore year. It was actually me, Amber,
mm-hmm.
and her friends in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Really?
Awesome trip. We just went and got a cabin down there. What do you say?
Yeah, you were on the Tennessee Grand before everyone else was.
It was very fun. we were down there. We got a cabin. There was probably like 8 of us total or something. We just drove down for what was supposed to be probably gonna be like 4 days, maybe 3 nights.
Mm-hmm.
And we're on the trip, and they start sending the emails like, "Hey, you're not coming back next week." And at first, I'm sure like everyone, we were all pumped, like,
Yeah. More spring
let's
break.
go.
Let's go.
Spring break's a little bit longer. Someone was joking like, let's extend the house, like let's get the Airbnb for a couple more nights. You don't need to rush back.
Yeah.
And then like on the drive back, we're getting even more emails like, "Hey, you're not coming back," or everything's virtual, or you're gonna have to unpack your dorm within like. They were so like, I mean, they should have been urgent. It was fair, but it was like weird when we didn't know what's going on. Like, you're gonna have the dorm unpacked in 72 hours, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there's probably kids that are going here from like California.
Yeah.
How are they gonna do that?
Or like the kids that went like home internationally
Yeah.
or something like that. Like
They probably just couldn't get back in general.
there was probably like extenuating circumstances, but I don't know. I feel like anyone or us specifically, like Ohio State students, will like the fact that we're all in spring break and just kind of like you said, like went from just like excited to just mortified over like the
Yeah.
course of like a 2-day period.
Yeah, and then it all just became a blur for like 6 months of online classes. I will say that COVID was horrible, and there's so many negative things. I won't talk about them. We'll keep it somewhat positive. The only positive that came out of COVID is my stats grade went way up because he was posting lectures, and that was such a hard class for me. I watched the lectures like 4 times.
Yeah.
Versus if it was in person, it would be once.
Yeah.
And I would just watch, like he would post it, I would watch it, and then I would watch it again, and like the next day I'd watch it a 3rd time, and I actually feel like it clicked like the 3rd time.
Yeah.
And that was so helpful. I think that COVID is the reason I did well in that stats class.
To that point, pass fail that semester was the best thing that could happen because the thing is, I was taking probably the 2 hardest classes I ever took at Ohio State that semester.
Which one?
Systems 1, which
I've heard a lot of bad things about that.
I also had one of the worst professors. Well, not probably like the 2nd or 3rd worst professor who said like he blatantly told us he makes the class harder, like because he wants us to like be better, but like he doesn't like adjust the grades for that. He's just harder for the sake of being harder.
Frustrating.
And yeah, it's just a mind-numbingly hard course. And then Foundations of Computer Science, which is like, so Foundations 1 is like figuring out like runtimes of algorithms and like basic mapping algorithms, and then Foundations 2 is like that to like the nth degree. So it's just like, I don't know, like those are probably like, as a computer science major, like the 2 hardest courses you're going to take.
I've heard both of those classes.
And so having both of those pass-fail, amazing. And then that was the only semester I ever got a 4.0 because of it. Because of the 3 gen eds, straight A's. So,
oh my gosh.
Oh my god, it was great. I was on top of the world for that little bit.
And don't look at that PNP. Don't care.
I mean, it's
4.0.
COVID. It's COVID.
Yeah. That's so
like,
nice.
And I was, at the time, I was like worried, like, if I go to grad school, are they going to like care about this pass and fail? But then like, when I was still like thinking about going to grad school, I talked to the grad school advisor at Ohio State, and she was like, yeah, we don't really, if it was the COVID semester, like, that's kind of like not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I don't think we also didn't understand how serious the situation was at that point. Like, now there's so much mental health stuff going on. People are just like, COVID year is like a wash.
Yeah.
You know? But even then we're like, oh my gosh, but is this P or NP going to look bad on my thing in 4 years? Like, people are going to be like, oh god, that kid went to school during the COVID time. Like, he's fine. The
amount of forethought you had to, like, think about during COVID is just insane. Like, you know, like, especially, like, when, like, lockdown started, like, even, like, as restrictions were lifting, like, you know, like, what I do, like, how does that affect the people directly around me, and, like, who do they interact with? Because, like, you know, I don't want to hang out with someone who hangs out with their grandparents a lot.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, be the reason that, you know, their grandparents got COVID or something like that. Like, I don't know, I feel like there was a TikTok that, it was, like, you know, me as a sophomore, like, joking about, having, like, an extended spring break, and then it was, like, you know, like the Moon Knight song where it's, like, every day, and then it was just, like, a flash of, like, images, and then it's just, like, me graduating in 2 weeks, like,
that is so relatable.
COVID made time just jump, like, I feel like it's, like, that, like, from Infinity War, with, like, the 5-year snap, it just disappeared.
Oh my goodness. I was gonna say something about that too, like when you were saying you're worried about who you're hanging out with.
Yeah.
That happens all the time. Like if you see one person and they text you like a week later, hey, I just wanna let you know, like I might have been exposed, your mind just flows so fast, like, I saw so many people that then saw so many people. Even if you really didn't, like, oh, I saw every one of my roommates, and they probably saw 2 people each, or maybe one of them went home and visited their parents, and you're just panicking for like
Yeah.
a day, and then everything comes back negative. Like, oh,
Yeah.
thank God.
It's awesome, but then like, there's also like the people that you just didn't see because like they didn't even want to like get close to that.
Yeah.
Like, do you know Jeff, our friend Jeff?
I don't think so.
Yeah, since COVID, like he hangs out with his grandparents a lot, and in junior year, his girlfriend was like immunocompromised, so like we almost never saw him, or like I don't know, during quarantine, like when I was still living like at my house with my parents, like I didn't leave the house because I was like, I'm not getting my parents sick.
Yeah, same.
Like I don't know, it's been a wild 2.5-ish years, and I'm really hoping that we're kind of just figuring out how to actually adapt and move on from it rather than just whatever we've been doing for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I will say the only other positive thing that came out of it was, and I told you I was pretty close to my family, because everything was quarantine and lockdown, like everyone was sent home from their schools, whether it was med school, OT school, or Jesse's at Marquette. And so all 6 of us were back at home for like a year again. Or it probably wasn't a year. It was the entire spring semester and then summer. But that was kind of nice. It was cramped again, and people were getting on each other's nerves, but like it felt like back in the day when everyone was still there. And I know my parents said, like, although COVID was horrible, it was really nice to have everybody home.
I can imagine. Yeah, and then I feel like that. My sister moved. She was actually thinking about moving in with her college roommate who was in New York. She was like, I'm gonna have to get like a weekend job and then like also like a week job.
Yeah.
Like, thank God COVID happened because like that would have been terrible timing.
That would have really hurt.
Yeah, but when she came home, it was us 4. But another nice thing that happened from COVID, we're making it sound like COVID was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
A lot of negative things with COVID.
Yeah, but another positive thing from COVID is work from home. Like my mom, like, so when I was growing up, she like worked from home, like doing like calls and stuff for like pharmacies. But then when I got into middle school, she went to work back in the offices, but she doesn't want to go to the office anymore. Like, she absolutely loves working from home. And, like, the ability that, like, to just do that for people, like, I don't know, my entire nationwide team has not been back in the office, like, since COVID because, like, they realized that, like, they had, so, like, it's 24/7 security, and, like, they had a bullpen for this stuff. But, like, they don't need to do that anymore. Go downtown, go to the 23rd floor every day, just all that. And it is one of the nice things that has happened. How do you view your religion?
Like I said, I grew up, I went to a Catholic middle school and high school, and I don't go to Mass nearly as much as I should, especially not this last semester. I don't know what it was. I really enjoy going to the Newman Center. It's a bit more lively than my at-home church. It's very dry when I go home, but it's like kind of nice because like that's the tradition I grew up with. So, I mean, religion definitely plays a pretty big part in my life, but I'm not going to act like I'm the best practicing Catholic in the world because I know I was horrible about going to church this past semester and stuff like that. But it is really nice. Amber is Christian, and so we'll go to churches together, or we've tried like doing that and jumping around different places and seeing what we like. So that's kind of fun, like getting to do that with her because like my roommates don't really go much of ever, but it's nice to have people to do that with.
That's wholesome.
I know we'd see Josh and them sometimes at the Newman Center, like freshman and sophomore year.
Yeah, I remember there was like a giant group of people that went to Mass every Sunday together, and I was just like, damn, I haven't been in this synagogue. So
it couldn't be me.
Dude, I promised my dad I'd go to either Chabad or Hillel by the time I graduate, and like every year it was like, all right, like I want you to go to Chabad. I want to know. I'm like, I'll do it.
It'll get done.
And the last meeting of like
oh my gosh.
Before we graduate, or Chabad like had one last meeting before like they let out for the summer, like 2 or 3 weeks before graduation, and I went to that one, and it was terrible, and I told him it was not going to be good. But I don't know, it's funny. I feel like there are a lot of things I miss like about synagogue, and I do like sometimes wish I went back, especially like I don't know, like the culture that was there as well, like just seeing everyone and that. But I don't know, I feel like everyone kind of has some sort of guilt of I should do this whatever a little more, whether it be calling your parents or going to church or whatever, like responsibilities or things that you think you need to do or not been lacking on, but you think you've been lacking on. What is your biggest regret?
That is a tough one. because I am a believer, like, if you would go back and change one thing, then you wouldn't really be where you're at right now.
Totally agree.
And I wouldn't change where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So I can't really think of one big thing. I know everyone, like, a lot of people are like, oh, I would have said yes to more, gone out more often. Like, I don't think I would have done that. I think I enjoyed Ohio State a lot, and I had a decent balance of fun and, like, hard work and hard play.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't really change anything about that. I also think that this past year and a half, I think ever since COVID, like, my social battery gets drained a lot faster. So, like, I didn't go out nearly as much as I maybe used to, or, like, it would just be sitting at home. It's like, hey, come over to Vatican or something, and I'm like, I would love to see them, but I just don't feel like seeing people.
Yeah.
Right now. But I don't think that's like I guess that's kind of a regret, but I wouldn't have changed it because I'm pretty happy with where we're at. So
yeah,
I know it's a bad answer, but I don't really have one specific thing that I really regret.
Yeah. Well, I think the interesting thing about this right now is, like, we're 22, so it's, like, hard to think of, like, a lot of things, like, big life
We haven't
events.
messed up anything too bad yet, hopefully.
And, like, I feel like also in our 20s, like, you're not, like, or because, like, you're so, like, fresh and new to the world, like, whatever, like, you fuck up, like, no one's really going to care that much because it's not like you're a CEO or anything.
You can't mess up things too bad yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Like, there's a joke in computer science that, like, you know, someone's, like, in someone's first week, they're probably going to, like, ruin something in production. Like, I saw a meme that was, like, you know, I accidentally deleted, like, an entire database on, like, my third day. And I just, like, kind of, like, was walking up to my manager, and it was just, like, how many rows? Like, did you delete? Like, without even having to say anything, just, like, they just knew.
Control Z, please. Like, I think I worked, I did a lot with Buckathon, like, freshman and sophomore year, and then when COVID hit, and then junior year, I fell off the face of the map for it. I guess that would be a regret, because it's cool to get back to stuff, especially, like, when we're in a position to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, do you make it a difference in those kids' lives?
Yeah.
Jesse does a thing called Camp Kesem, which is a camp for kids whose families, I think specifically parents, have been affected by cancer.
Really?
Like whether they lost a parent or whether a parent's going through like treatments or whatever it is, they pretty much get all these kids together. They fundraise throughout the whole year to be able to send these kids to camp, and it sounds kind of like yours, where they do like a week full of fun stuff. And one of them is like, I think they do color wars, because like she showed you these pictures of like everyone like wearing pink and wearing green and wearing blue, and I don't know what competitions they do, but that sounds so fun. She loves it, so I could see why you'd like that.
No, like, I remember so one of the last things you do, like, is there's, like, a song portion, and, my first summer there, like...
You write a rap?
No, like, the counselor, it was actually a counselor that was good friends with Mac Miller, because Mac Miller went to my summer camp.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, shout out the boy. But, so he, like, you know, changed the lyrics on a bunch of stuff to, like, from like Monster by Kanye to like be about like camp and like about like joking about specific counselors
like, that's
and
awesome.
judges, and like I can still honestly remember some of the lyrics, and I don't know, it lives not rent free. I used to think about it a lot more, especially in the summer, but it's more of just like a what if now.
Yeah.
What are you most worried about?
First answer, biggest fear, sharks. But
That's
legitimate answer, I am very worried about staying in touch with people when I move away. Because I'm really bad about texting people and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of people that I would love to stay in constant contact with, or at least like weekly or monthly catch-ups, because I want to know how they're doing in a year. And I know myself, and I think it'll be tough to make myself text them. Like you said, like that friend that you're like, how's he doing? Yeah. I don't really ever send that text message.
Yeah.
And so I'm worried that I still won't do that next year, and then my circle will get very small.
Yeah. I think it's a very fair worry, like thinking like even back to like college, like the people that you saw in your dorm that like you don't see nearly as much anymore, because like it's so much harder, like when even like just moving a couple blocks, like to stay in contact with people. And yeah, no, I completely agree. Like being or like staying in contact with people is gonna be tough, but and you have to like put an effort in to do it, which is hard.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of relationships take work. It's not necessarily that it comes freely, but that's why they're so cool.
Yeah, and it's also got to be a two-way street, you know? You can't always be the instigator. What's the hardest thing that's happened to you in this past year?
I have an answer that just seems so dumb.
No answer's a dumb answer.
Well, I like a couple things. It's been a good year
I'm
for
glad.
me. My grandparents passed away last year, and so that was pretty tough. On my dad's side, we were really tight with them, and especially once COVID hit, my grandpa never went to the barber anymore because he didn't want to risk anything, and so I was cutting his hair, so that was kind of nice.
Really?
That I was getting to see him every once in a while to do that. But that was tough, and then our dog passed away, but again, that's not, there's so many crosses that people bear, in relation, those are not that bad. And then, even lower than that, when going through my job search, I really wanted to work for a few select companies and made it to final round interviews for them, but didn't get an offer.
Mhm.
And so I was really bummed about that, and especially with the people that we hang out with. There are a lot of high achieving individuals in our friend group that are going to places like that, and so I was like, man, that just kind of sucks. I'm just really happy for them, but it's you wish you could do what they're doing with them and be a part of it with them.
Yeah.
So I'd say that was kind of tough, but again, in relation, all of that is the job thing is a 2 out of 10 in terms of seriousness, and obviously losing grandparents and losing a dog was tough, but in the grand scheme of things, they lived a good life, so that's only a 5 out of 10. So
yeah,
it's been a very good year. I'm very, very blessed.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about all of that though. To your point of comparison, I remember freshman sophomore year when other people were getting internships, and I was either still interviewing or just didn't get of anything. It is hard sometimes. It sounds shitty, but it's hard because you want to celebrate. It's damn, I'm not there yet, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, we all came out of it, and
We're all doing just fine.
yeah. I mean, you're with Brad now.
I'm really hype about that.
You have the best job.
Oh, so
Brad with the eyes, just stare at him all day, and get paid to do it.
We'll see.
What's something that made you laugh really hard recently?
You're pretty funny.
Oh, you're too kind.
It was really nice being at Pine House and Sarah last night with that group of people. That's just a fun group of people. And last night, Pacheco and Hudson to the shotguns by the trash can, and they both just looked like they wanted to puke as soon as they did it. They're just little things like that. Me and Benji just looking at them and laughing.
Yeah.
Also, my high school buddies, there was a group of 4 of us that were really tight throughout all of high school and have still stayed really close. They came to visit 2 nights ago. I think that's why my social battery was out, because I had hung out with them, and we'd actually just been at Standard the night before, and I just can't do that twice in a row.
Yeah.
But just you don't even remember what exactly is said, but it's just fun to be around them. It makes you laugh really hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I can't think of any specific TikToks or memes that my friends have sent me. It's fun. Again, we're playing a lot of Elden Ring, so Elden Ring specific memes of a dude punching his computer when he dies for the 50 billionth time.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I don't know. You got any good jokes or any good things recently that happened to you?
I had one in my mind. I'm trying to remember. So me and Adam, I was explaining do you know the Morbius thing that happened recently?
What happened? I saw that movie sucked.
Yeah. So people on Twitter and stuff have been praising it, saying it's one of the best movies of all time.
Is it sarcastic?
It sold a more billion tickets. I loved it when he went, "It's Morbin time."
Oh,
he was
my
Morbin
gosh.
everywhere. And we were looking at all these memes, reading the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes because it has a 97 audience score.
Are you kidding?
I'm not.
That has to be.
The reviews are this is one of the greatest movies of all time. I broke up with my girlfriend because she told me I need to stop watching Morbius 10 times a day. Just all of that, and we were just dying laughing.
Did you see that movie?
No, but here's the funny part. So it bombed at the box office, right?
Yeah.
But Sony saw all these memes and we're okay, we're gonna release it for one more weekend, even though it's technically on digital right now, to test the waters, and it grows $80,000. So Morbius is the first movie to flop twice in theaters.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. I think it was $85,000 on Friday, worldwide box office.
Yeah.
That is someone's salary. That's one person's salary. That is horrible.
Yeah.
It's so embarrassing.
So just reading through all that with Adam was fucking hilarious.
I'm definitely going to send that over to the high school boys I was just talking about, because we went and saw it together, and dude, we were laughing in the theater. I'm very easily entertained when it comes to movies. I love Grown Ups too, which has gotten some pretty horrible reviews, but I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But that movie, just while watching it, we were all looking at each other this can't be something that they made. This can't surely be a real movie that someone put together and made it through the entire process of screenwriting, checks, actors. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
I've never like intentionally seen a bad movie, so I really want to watch it like with like,
You
all
should.
these guys and just I don't know. I feel like it would just be like an entertaining time, you know? Yeah, got a morbid.
It's morbid time.
It's morbid time.
$4 billion.
Like Doctor Strange only sold like what, like $10, $20? Like that's nothing compared to $1 more billion.
Did you see Doctor Strange?
I did, yeah.
Did you like it?
That was good. Pacing was the only thing that was like really weird for me. Like I felt like the first like 30 minutes were super slow and the last like 30 minutes like super fast. But the middle part was really good, and I like how it's starting to like branch out from like the Marvel like formula. Like
Yeah.
I'm hoping they like let shows and movies do that more because like
I feel like they have to keep coming up with new stuff. Like you
Yeah.
just have to try something new.
yeah, like not it just like you know how like the standard like every character is like really quippy and like kind of like a bunch of or like cultural references or like you know like a lot of Marvel movies, as much as like I grew up reading Marvel comics, so like this is a dream come true, but like I'm getting burnt down on this stuff right now.
Right.
Like a kid that like grew up like when I made my email, I made which I still use. It's this was before the Thor movie came out or was even announced.
No way.
So when I found out that movie was coming out, I was ecstatic.
That's dope.
And I'm burnt out on this stuff. So I'm hoping for that. It looks like it's starting to like change and like actually like expand to like find like have people actually use their own voice for it. But
when's the new Thor come out? Do you know?
July.
Okay.
I want to say it looks really
I'm
good.
excited about that.
Yeah.
It looks similar to like Ragnarok, which was awesome.
Yeah. Also, Gore, who's being played like Christian Bale, like if they do like his storyline like nearly as good as it is in the comics, like it's gonna be a great movie.
That's awesome.
I'm so excited. Like they're doing it all off Jason Aaron's third run, which is like arguably one of the best Thor runs of all time. And it was like 2012 to like 2018. And it was just like so good. If you ever get the chance to read it, you should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Who's your hero?
My parents. Hard to choose between both of them, but probably my dad. But I mean, so many qualities about both of them, so definitely both. I can't choose one specifically. They're just great people. They did a lot to give me and my sisters, which is 4 kids, a very good life, and like encourage us to try so many different things instead of like pigeonholing us into something or not letting us like giving us the options of if you want to play a travel sport you can, that kind of thing. And there's a lot of people that aren't. I mean, it's expensive. I hope to one day be able to send my kids to college and let them play whatever sports and go to whatever schools they want to go to. It's kind of like my goal is to be what they were for us. So that's my hero for sure.
Love it. It's wholesome as hell too.
Well, I mean, it's easy. Again, like one of those things where like I'm very blessed to have a solid family, and so and not everyone has that. So.
Yeah, no, it sounds like the Julian family is just tight with each other. You know?
Pretty awesome family, man. Gotta get to meet us.
Exactly. I want to. And have me over for some like nice Friday night dinner or something like that.
Dude, come. We'll see. I think my mom. Well, she's probably gonna drop off the dog and pick up the dog on Tuesday. We'll get something going the next few weeks.
Word. Yeah. Let me know. I'll be there. I'm not kidding. I just will need a ride, probably.
I also will need a ride, but Mrs. Julian or Mr. Julian will work something out. Let's go.
What's your favorite tradition?
I feel like as we've gotten older, our traditions have not dried up a little bit. Like I remember a lot of traditions around holidays when we were little kids. Like my my mom's side would come over then on Christmas Eve, and all of us kids would go on like SantaTracker.com, and like, oh my gosh, she's like flying over Cleveland. We gotta go now. We gotta everyone go home and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In terms of just like normal traditions, probably a lot of family stuff. My dad's side's more Italian, and we have a massive Italian Christmas party every year, which growing up I was always like, oh man, like I don't even recognize some of the people, like you don't quite remember all the names, but you saw them last year, and then they ask you like how you're doing, and you're like, I don't know how we're related. But as I've gotten older, it's a lot more special to see like how tight that big extended family is.
Yeah.
And so I think that just like that yearly Christmas party is one of my favorite traditions.
Yeah.
But I think most of my traditions revolve around family. I can't think of anything outside of family.
What's the best thing that's happened to you in this past month?
Dude, it's been a good month. Like, I don't know. It's hard to answer. I feel like I'm in a very, very lucky spot in my life where there's not a whole lot of negatives and a lot of positives. And if anything, it's like kind of neutral because there's not much going on. But we locked our apartment up for Chicago, me and Sean, so that was pretty awesome. We took a vacation, actually. My twin sister, my parents, and then 2 of my current roommates and their families. So there was 12 of us total. Went to the Dominican Republic, which had never been there or even close to there. Yeah. So that was awesome.
Sounds awesome.
I feel like that has to take the cake. I mean, that was a really, really fun trip. We went golfing on it. I'm a really bad golfer, but I had a good time. We played a beautiful course. We drank a decent amount. We ate really well. We ate so good at that place. Yeah, that's probably the best thing that happened in the last month because I feel like that's really tough to beat. We took a trip to the Dominican Republic. When I say that out loud, it feels really weird to say.
Yeah.
But it was really fun.
Shout out to the Dominican Republic. I gotta go. You're gonna put me on it.
I don't know how we will be able to afford going anytime soon.
Oh, it's alright. I'll smuggle myself.
Just go start swimming.
Yeah.
Walk to Florida and then start swimming from there.
Alternatively, like, people don't really need all this stuff in their suitcase, right? I can fit in.
You just empty someone's suitcase out and hop in yourself.
Yeah.
They'd be real surprised when they got there.
Yeah, no,
it's probably pleasantly surprised. You're a pretty cool guy.
Exactly. I remember after Vegas, I was trying to see if I could fit in my suitcase, and I could not. But there's a picture of me with like just my shoulders peeking out and like my head in the suitcase. I'm a suitcase man.
Oh, fear a suitcase man.
Yeah, just goofy.
Dude, Vegas was so fun. Vegas was one of my favorite memories of senior year. It was one of those things where I was really ready to come back at the end of it, but so fun and such a good group of people.
It was a long 4 days, but it was a fantastic.
I feel like I needed to go to church and hug my parents when I got home, but it was really fun.
I don't think I could have been there longer than I was.
No, I didn't want to be there any longer.
But like you said, it was so much fun, and it kind of feels like a dream at this point. Yeah,
it does. Do you remember? I don't know who started the question, but at the end, like the last day or so, someone said, "Would you rather have a kid right now, like at the age of 21, or have to live in Vegas for 5 years, like at Caesar's Palace?"
I remember that question. Oh,
I don't know what a few words.
I don't know what I would want, honestly, because like as a kid you have like a lifelong thing, but it's like living in Caesar's Palace. I think
part of you would erode if you lived there for longer than a year.
You would become a villain. Like there's no other way. There's no other way for that to like happen. Where do you see yourself going in the next 5 years?
Chicago in a month. And then I have kind of thought about what's next after that, but I don't really know. And I think it'll all depend on how work goes, which I'm really excited for my job. So that'll be fun. They only have an office in Chicago and Boston. So it's not like I can just up and travel to a different location in a year.
Yeah.
But I personally would expect to be in Chicago for like anywhere from like 2 to 4 years, 4 in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be really nice to go live in a different city for a small period of time after that, like maybe Charlotte or just something for a little bit, and then I do want to come back to Ohio because all my sisters want to come back here. I think family, as you can tell, is a little bit important to us.
Yeah.
And like when I'm ready to have a kid or kids, I want my parents to be somewhat close, but I don't want to be in like Denver when it's time to have a kid, because then like you need the free babysitter of the grandparents, and that's just not possible. So I don't know the timeline on all of that, but Chicago and then potentially a little bridge city for a minute to just try it out, because I've really grown up in Columbus and not experienced a whole lot more than that, and then back to Columbus eventually.
I like it.
But in no rush.
To your point about moving back to Ohio, I think it would just be a great place to like raise a family.
It's a pretty awesome place. People that aren't from here hate on it, but it's a pretty good place.
Like Dave Chappelle said, like, you know, people ask him like why live in Ohio. It's like, why not? You know?
Yeah.
But I told my mom I want to boomerang back to Ohio to like have a family, and her face got so white because she's like, I want to get out of here.
She wants to leave.
She's like, I want to be by your kids, but I do not want to be in Ohio.
Where do your parents want to go?
My mom wants to go to North Carolina. My dad wants to go to Florida. So.
Okay. Somewhere south, a little bit warmer than here.
Yeah, my mom thinks Florida's too warm. My dad thinks North Carolina's not warm enough. So.
You're gonna settle in like Tennessee or something.
I don't know. I mean, they also want to be by the water, so
yeah.
I have no idea what's gonna happen. But they they're not moving until like I am done with my like boot camp for some reason. I don't know why they're waiting, but like they are.
How long is that?
It's from August to February.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I keep telling them like you don't have to wait for me, and they're like, we don't want like they don't want to move and then move again. You know, like they just want to make one big move, which I guess makes sense, but I don't know.
That is smart.
Yeah. So, what do you want to have done by the next time we film? And I don't know when that'll be, but at least a year.
I don't want to get fired. I want to hopefully not be bad at my job. I don't have a whole lot of expectation in things I want to accomplish, which I guess it's good to be goal driven, but right now I kind of have a blank slate, like ready to just go and absorb and try out life in a new city, in a new job, and really the first time we're working full time aside from an internship.
Yeah.
So I think once you hit like that 3-month hump when you're like, all right, time to go back to school, like,
you don't have
no, this is what
forever.
you're doing. Yeah, which is terrifying but cool. Nothing I can really say. I would like, before we film again, I would like to have taken at least 2 trips to see college friends. Or high school friends, because I think again, as it kind of goes back to what I'm worried about, I'm afraid I won't make that effort, and it is annoying. Like I booked a flight to go visit Amber this upcoming weekend, like a week from now, and it costs like $400 to get a round trip to Texas, where she's interning for the summer.
Yeah.
And so it's a little annoying that you have to spend that kind of money just to see your friends, family, and loved ones.
Yeah.
But so worth it.
Yeah.
So. Well, I'm hoping that I am able to be disciplined enough to set that kind of money aside to make the effort and go see people.
I like that. Yeah, and also, what's the point of money if not to spend it?
Exactly, and I think that a trip like this will make you a lot happier than getting like a $500 thing, which I'm blanking. I can't think something.
Oh, you don't want the new $500 thing?
Dude, they're coming out with another Apple iPhone, and someone said it just looks. They just showed a picture of it. It's the same exact thing.
I mean, the thing is, so Moore's Law is just like the...
Yeah, it takes the time for it to double technology, and the price gets cut in half.
Yeah, damn, I almost mansplained that to you. But, like, Moore's Law has been, like, a thing for, like, since, like, essentially the birth of computers have been starting to plateau. Like, we're starting to, like, reach the upper limits of Moore's Law because, like, at this point, like... we have processors that are like the size of grains of sand. So like
that's nuts.
The only thing we can get more like smaller than that is like atomic. So now it's just a matter of like you can't get smaller, so you just have to like fit like more, you know, like just more things on like a bigger space, I guess. So
the size matter though.
I mean, to be honest, a grain of sand's pretty big.
It's
so,
kind of
yeah.
No, but it's so crazy. Like we're having this conversation right now and be like, dude, there's no way we can possibly improve upon the computer.
Yeah.
And if we look back at this like 5 years, there's probably some crazy new technology where like we didn't even think about that.
Exactly.
Like we also don't need anything more powerful than we have right now, but they would have said the same thing back in 1980.
Yeah.
You know? When did they land on the moon?
64.
Yeah, what our phones now are like X times more powerful than the computer that landed on there.
I mean, Steve Jobs has a quote that's like, you know, he wants to like design things that people never thought they would need but can't imagine without.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think we're really fortunate in the fact that like we got to see the world before smartphones, and then like just that little bit of time before like the revolution, you know?
Yeah.
So, to your point, I don't know what might be the next thing, but it's around the corner. We just don't know it yet, I think.
It's gonna be you that comes up with it.
Yeah.
Big computer guy.
The Lando-Matic 4000. It blorgles every day for you.
The Lando phone.
The Lando. I like the Lando phone, actually. That's a good name.
That's kind of good.
Yeah, I'm going to make that.
Please make that.
Can you be my CFO?
Give me like pennies on the dollar for it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Let's do it.
This is recorded, so we have to live up to it now.
Well, also, now you can't say it was all your... Or, we can't double-cross each other because we got film confirmation.
Got evidence?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So, that concludes the conversational portion of the episode. Winding down here, I've just got a bunch of quick-hitter questions. So, just, first thing that comes to your mind, if you need to take time to think about it, go for it. Just,
okay.
It's more rapid-fire. So... Here is a moment in the mind of Dom Julian.
Uh-oh.
What's a song that's been stuck in your head recently?
I love Post Malone. He just dropped his album the other night. Oh. Wasted Angels with Leroy on that album was really good, and so I Cannot Be, I think, is the other one with Post and Gunna, is probably those are my two favorites from the album, so they've been living in my head rent free. Also, the Money Don't Wiggle Wiggle, It Holds, that is always stuck in my head, I can't stop it.
I like it. I need to listen to the album, actually. I haven't meaning to do that. I heard it's good.
Let me know if you like it, because I'm a big fan of him, so I like it. It might be biased, but it's really slow, so some people probably just won't like it at all.
I really liked his last album with Hollywood's Bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping it's something like that. What's one of your favorite quotes or lyrics?
I have a list on my phone of my favorite quotes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of one. Favorite lyric, not actually my favorite, but really funny one that jumps out. Big sack and a lot of hoes like Santa. That was, I can't remember who said that in a song. Favorite quote in general, like an advice, is people will forget the way that people forget what you said, people forget what you did, but they'll never forget the way you made them feel. So, I don't remember who said that, but probably favorite quote.
I love it. What's the best show or movie you've seen in the past month?
Morbius.
Actually?
No. I like Doctor Strange a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also watching the new Kenobi show, so it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm only on episode. I haven't seen the third one yet, though. So
Yeah, I heard episode 3 is wild.
I know. I'm gonna go home and watch it today. Definitely.
Let's go. What's the best thing you've binged recently?
I have not really binged anything. I mean, I watched episodes 1 and 2 of Kenobi in the same night.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the extent of my binging.
Yeah.
I want to get into Breaking Bad. I've heard so many good things about that show. Everyone says it's amazing, and I don't know why I just can't sit down and watch it all. So
I think it's like the first episode starts off with a bang, then it slows down a little bit, but like by the 5th or 6th episode, you
should be hooked.
Not you should be hooked, but like it ramps up real fast, and it's just like it's a non-stop thrill ride. I can't. It's probably my second favorite show of all time.
What's number one?
BoJack Horseman.
Oh, that's so funny. My roommates used to watch it all the time sophomore year.
I love that show.
Okay.
Have you seen the show at all?
I have. I mean, I don't watch all the way through, but I would come home and they're watching it in the communal room, so I would just watch an episode or two.
So it's funny. The guy who plays Todd in that show is on Breaking Bad. And,
Oh.
Yeah, in Breaking Bad, he's super serious. All this crazy shit happens to him, and it's he's sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's uplifting, whatever. And he's just a comedy relief character. And now whenever I watch the other show, it's just I think about the other character. I'm just it's him saying all this shit. That's wild.
That's funny.
Yeah. What's the best book you read recently?
I read Where the Crawdads Sing, and I loved that book. A lot of people recommended it, and I didn't know what it was about, and no one really gave me a straight answer, and I got it at Half Price Books anyway, and it was awesome. Dune was also good. It was a couple weeks ago. This Groundedness book is pretty solid so far. I've got a whole bookshelf in my room if you're looking for books to read, but I figure you're not, so.
I'm making a list of all the books right now that people are saying. And
really?
Because, I'm starting, because of 75 Hard, I'm reading for the first time since high school. But I started with Kobe's autobiography. I'm almost done with D. Rose's.
No way.
Next is Ray Allen and Kareem. I'm really excited for Kareem.
That would be really cool. That's cool to read autobiographies.
Yeah, Kareem's also a great person on and off the court too, so I'm really excited to see his entire life story. But when I'm done with all those, I have a list of just everyone's answers that I'm so excited to start. And then also Harry Potter, because...
You not read Harry Potter?
No.
My roommate is reading them for the first time right now, and he's cooking through them. It's crazy.
Adam, I think, is doing something similar. So growing up, my sisters were both big Harry Potter people, and so I remember, we had the box set and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I remember one day I took the first book and I was reading it, and one of my sisters found me with the book that took it away from me. I was like, no, that's our thing. So I was like, okay, guess I'm not into Harry Potter.
Guess you can't read Harry Potter.
Yeah,
that sucks.
I finally watched the movies for the first time this past semester with Evan, who's also never seen them, Adam, Sophia. The group kept getting bigger and bigger every time. And I remember for Deathly Hallows Part 2, it was our entire living room was full, which was really fun, actually.
Did you ever read the Percy Jackson books?
Loved them so much.
Those were so good. That and Harry Potter was my middle school time, just nonstop.
I'm excited to get into them because I see the appeal now, seeing the movies, and I always look at books.
And books are always better than movies.
Yeah,
they take more effort.
I always like watching movies first because then it's books are director's cut with all this added content, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that people like to do it the other way around, but I feel my sisters always got mad at like Twilight and Harry Potter, like, oh, they changed this, or oh, they didn't talk about this. Like, it's just like
True.
I'd rather see the more than the less.
Makes sense.
What is your current or most recent job?
I am not working at this current moment, but I'm starting on July 5th with
Mhm.
Tracy and Company in Chicago doing consulting.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. Very vague answer, but.
Do you want kids, and if so, how many?
Oh, man. I haven't thought about this extensively, but my sisters talk about it because I feel like people are biased to the number of kids they grew up with,
I completely agree.
and I would love to have 4
Mhm.
because me and my 3 siblings. I just hope to financially be able to support 4.
Yeah.
I know this is a really like dumb small thing, but like if you have an odd number, then if you go to an amusement park or something, or they just want to like play with each other, there could be a kid out, like an odd kid out. Did you find that in your experience?
I feel like maybe like there was enough times of like everyone was the odd kid out that no one really felt like the odd kid out. If that makes sense.
Okay.
It's like when everyone is, no one really is.
Mhm.
Like my sisters both had a very interesting, like their own like unique relationship. I had my own really unique relationship with both my sisters too. But it's like us 3, I guess, never really like molded together. But it's like you have like all
Close
those.
enough.
Yeah, it's like there's enough like pairings that it's like it's alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the permutations of the 3 kids and how they
Yeah.
can all split up.
Yeah.
Of course. But I do want kids. I don't know how many, but I would like 4
Gotcha.
potentially.
What's your favorite spot to eat nearby, whether it be sit down or fast food?
Weird answer. Taj Mahal
Mm.
up on North High Street. Have you
Yeah.
had it?
I went there once actually.
So good. I'm sure I've had the like home cooked Indian food at one of my roommates' houses, and I mean it's not as good as that because home cooking is always better.
Yeah.
But it's so good for an American person that just likes to try Indian food. It is so freaking good.
Yeah, Indian food's the one genre I haven't conquered yet of liking it.
Gosh. It's so
I try it like once a year and I'm just like, not yet.
good. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Put it away.
It's like I want to.
Mhm.
Everyone says how good it is. It looks good, and I just
Mhm.
something about it. Just like it's not for me, but
That
that's
makes
okay.
sense. That's fair.
What's something that you think is underrated?
I would have said Taj Mahal.
You can say that.
Underrated. Columbus. Honestly.
Good answer. Yeah. What's your biggest hot take?
I mean, I guess a hot take is Grown Ups 2 is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Pretty easy for me. But it's not crazy hot. Do you have, I feel like you've
Yeah.
got a fun one up your sleeve.
I don't know what mine is honestly, but it's one of the questions where like, asking these enough times you kind of think about what your answer is to all of
Yeah.
them. But that one I never really know. But I love Grown Ups 1. I only saw Grown Ups 2 once, but
Mhm.
I've seen Grown Ups 1 so many times that I gotta assume that Grown Ups 2 is like gotta be the same caliber.
They're
Right?
both just like the dumbest movies
Yeah,
ever.
they're awesome though.
Mm,
Like,
they're so
fun
good.
dumb.
So good.
Yeah.
Fun dumb.
What's your favorite quality about yourself?
It's weird. I think I'm generally easy to get along with for other people, which I think is good because I enjoy talking to people and like to meet other people, so it's a good quality to have.
I love it. What's your favorite outfit?
I have pretty bad fashion sense, to be honest with you.
We disagree.
I got 2 pairs of jeans, one like dark blue and then one black from H&M,
Mhm.
and honestly they pair so well with like everything. So I like those a lot, and I just did some damage for kind of like for graduation. My parents said they would get me a couple clothes for work because I kind of had to overhaul the closet, but I can't really afford to drop so much money on like 3 nice dress shirts right now. So they are coming in, I think today. I got some dress shirts and some pants, and just like one pair of pants from like Target. Maybe it's the hot take. Target is so underrated in terms of their clothes. So I don't have a full fit, but
You wouldn't think Target has good clothes, but they do.
they do. I don't know how they do it, but they're not expensive and they're pretty good clothes.
Honestly, like I was a Kohl's kid growing up. Like
Mhm.
Kohl's everything. Kohl's Cash was supposed to be.
Kohl's Cash.
I will die on the hill that Kohl's Cash was going to be the next cryptocurrency. But
I'm staking my money with Kohl's Cash right now.
honestly, I was. But I don't know if it's me getting older, Kohl's going or declining, but like it's not the same as it was. And I feel like Target's my new Kohl's. Of just like go in there, like get a bunch of good cheap clothes and come out with like a whole new wardrobe.
Exactly. For like $100, you have a whole new wardrobe. You're feeling good.
You're not like going to like Banana Republic and getting one shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your biggest hobby?
Hobby.
Mhm.
I wish I read more. I think that's a good hobby to have. Recently, if you're going to look at the percentage of time I've been spending doing things, it would be Xbox. But I think my favorite hobby is, it's going to sound so nerdy, other than like working out or being around people, like doing something active with people, playing, if I'm by myself, chess. I play it on my phone, like me, Sujit, Benji.
Yeah.
Oh, so fun. It sounds so nerdy to say, but it's such a fun game.
Did you guys get into it after Queen's Gambit, or have you guys always been like that?
Me and my dad used to play a little bit growing up, like maybe like once a week. We just kind of happened to bring out the board and play. It was like we also played NCAA football on the Wii. That one we played a lot, and then we'd also play chess every once in a while. And he played Yahtzee with my sister, so we had like a nightly routine every once in a while of like Wii, chess, Yahtzee, go to bed.
That's awesome.
But so we just played a little bit growing up, and then it kind of tapered off. Then Queen's Gambit came out, and we started like playing a little bit more, and then ever since then I've been hooked on it.
Yeah, me and Derek have been playing chess on and off, so
Really?
love chess.
We'll have to play.
Yeah, no, I'm like, as soon as this is done, I'm sending you an iMessage. Yeah. You're stuck on a deserted island, and you can only bring one thing. What are you bringing? It can't be a boat.
Of course not. Trying to think of something practical.
Yeah.
I was just like Bear Grylls. I think he'd be a good person to have with you in that moment.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Some people are gonna say like a book and like cool, but you're gonna die.
It's not really gonna help you.
You're gonna die after you read the book 7 times of boredom. Your phone's probably not gonna do much. You don't have service.
No service.
I say Bear Grylls. I'll bring him.
That's a
If
really
he's
good
a
answer.
thing.
I didn't. Or
Does that count?
There's no rules other than I guess no service and no or like boat because
Okay.
that's a dumb answer.
Yeah.
But I like Bear Grylls a lot. I might steal that in the future. Watch out for my podcast episode because I might actually say Bear Grylls. Who are your best friends?
I love that question because there's a lot of friends that I would consider my best friends, but I don't know, like if you like a cutoff of number of names you can say.
Say as many as you want.
I would consider all my roommates my best friends. Specifically, Carson and Brian are the two that we went to the same high school together. Just we click and get each other so well, all of us. I love the dudes of your house. You know, like I consider you guys some of my closest friends. Also, Amber is a best friend. My siblings, specifically my twin. And then the high school buddies I was talking about earlier, that group, definitely. Also, a kid named Matt from IBE, like Fernando. It's like there's a good number of people. Again, this is why I'm so concerned of staying in touch with people because I think I'm really good friends with those people, but I know like if I go radio silent for 6 months, I mean, it crumbles. So
it's
we'll
gonna
see.
be hard to rebuild that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you said 3 names too many, so you're gonna have to cut some people.
Sorry, you didn't make the cut. Random people scratching off the list.
Yeah, just John. Sorry, no longer.
No longer friends with Brian.
He's a friend, but not best friend. Can only take 50. There's 53. What's something that you have to do every day?
Again, I've been in a weird limbo the last few days of not doing much, but every day I mean, aside from like eating and going to the bathroom and brushing teeth and stuff like that,
Normal human
I
function.
feel very good in a day when I do some sort of physical activity and I read a little bit. Not a ton, but if I do those 2 things, then like it's hard to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Also, just seeing people, but I know that's not really feasible. It happens every single day. So I don't really have a specific routine of like this must happen. I'm not on my 75 hard challenge right now, so I don't have much of a routine. But physical activity, reading, and being around people, which when you live in a house of 8 people, it's really easy to do the third one.
Yeah.
It's harder to do the middle one of reading. So I don't know. I don't have a specific thing like every single morning or night that I have to do.
I gotcha. Yeah, I feel like people either have a very niche answer, like, or broad one. Like, I always say like Q-tipping my ears. Like,
You clean your ears every single day?
they just get itchy, and like kind of helps to clean them because I also get real waxy.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like like I said, either very specific or very general. What is your proudest accomplishment?
I am proud, like, whenever someone says something like, hey, like, not to me, like, to my parents or to a friend, like, hey, like, I really like Dominic, or your son did this really well, I think that means a lot more than, like, a diploma. Like, to be honest, there wasn't much doubt that we were going to graduate. Like, we're
Yeah, I don't know about you, but
we're decently smart people. Like, that diploma's cool. I wouldn't consider that like a crazy accomplishment.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to have gotten my job and to start working there. Was voted best to bring home to mom and dad in BPAD. Actually, in AK Psi and then in BPAD all 4 years.
I would completely agree with that.
pretty solid accomplishment there, but I don't know, not much of an accomplishment person.
It's all good answers. What's something you want to own?
Own?
Yeah.
Eventually, I want to own a dog. I am a big puppy person and dog person, as I showed you pictures of my new dog. I'm obsessed with her, and I know it'll take a while before I'm ready to like stably have a dog, because I feel like that's like the step right below having a kid. You know, 'cause you gotta like let it out and everything. But I eventually want to have a dog really badly.
I like that. What do you think the price of gas will be by the next time we film?
I sure hope it is below $3. I'm so frustrated. I don't have a car on campus, and I hate how expensive gas is.
Yeah.
But again, like the plane trips we're talking about, like
Yeah.
a round trip flight to Chicago used to be like $100.
Yeah.
But because of gas prices and everything, and just like in general demand and supply right now, it is like $200 and something.
Yeah.
So I sure hope it goes down. I am not too familiar with like OPEC Plus and what they're doing in terms of getting oil out of the ground and selling it, and what the price per barrel is right now. But it can't possibly go up any higher, right?
I won't get on my whole rant, but a lot of people think that it's just Russia and Ukraine that's happening. The reason why our gas prices up, but the major like oil companies like BP, Shell, all that stuff are recording their highest quarter profits between like the last 25 years to like ever.
Wow.
So it's like they're using that as a smokescreen to price gouge, and it's just like it's so stupid.
That sucks.
I don't understand how they're allowed to get away with it. It's just
this big oil tycoon. Everybody.
like there's a place in LA that broke $8 a gallon yesterday. $8 a gallon.
Dude, I remember. I don't know if it wasn't after the financial crisis. When was it? Oil was so low when we were in high school at one point. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was like below $2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why was that? That was awesome.
It was just good economy, good times.
Oh my gosh. That needs to happen again.
Yeah.
And I'm not even taking a car with me. Like, I feel bad for people that have cars.
Yeah.
So.
No, I don't. I'm the only person here that doesn't have a car, and I'm so
really?
thankful because like I was supposed to have a car this summer, and I told Michaela like you have it. Like Atlanta's not a very drivable city, so like, you know you need it more than I do, and like I have 6 roommates. I can bum a car or whatever. But I'm really glad, especially being virtual right now. Like. Mm-hmm. My dad was like, "Oh, like during the summer, like if you are in person, you should take the Coda." I'm like, "I'll drive," but if I was in person this summer, I think I would take the Coda. Like what the $10 bus pass is gonna like save me so much money in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Any price estimate from you? I'm gonna go $353.
$353. It's okay. I have actually. This is the one question I haven't thought about. I should maybe not one question, but I don't think I've thought about this. $353 is not a bad answer. I want to say $370.
Okay.
I think it's gonna get lower than it is, but I don't think it's gonna get a lot lower. But that's also me being that's me being a pessimist.
Okay.
I would love for it to be back to under $2 because that would be amazing. Mm-hmm. Where do you want to visit next?
I've always wanted to go to Italy. And I had a lot of FOMO from all of our friends that went to Europe. Yeah. And that entire trip looked awesome. Matt Mark's been talking about Florence a lot since he got back. So I think Italy in general. I also would love to see the Vatican at some point.
Right
in my
here,
life.
bro.
So,
Come on.
2 Vaticans. Both Vaticans. Papa France or whoever it is whenever I make it out there. But Italy.
Yeah. Italy is the only place in Europe I've been. So.
Really?
Yeah, I was there like 2 weeks summer before freshman year of college. Beautiful.
With your family or?
Yeah, it was with my mom and dad, and I think 2 weeks was like perfect time for it because it's like, I went to Florence, Venice, Milan, Rome. I want to say one other place, but like all like the big stops, right? Mm-hmm. And like, I feel like each city we spent like the perfect amount of time in. So like.
That's so nice.
Yeah, I think you could also like definitely stay longer than you want, but it's like there was never a time where it's like I wish I was like in this one specific city like longer, you know?
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so when you go out to Italy, have a blast because the food there's also
Oh, I love Italian food. That was gonna be my number 2 thing behind Taj Mahal. Italian food is so good.
I'll never forget. There was a piece of pizza I had there, and like the first bite of that pizza tasted like YMCA, like microwave pizza. How they just kind of like it's like low-key tastes like cardboard.
Mm-hmm.
Every bite of that pizza got better, and by the time I finished that pizza, it was one of the best pizzas I've ever had.
What?
It was a magical pizza. I don't know how to describe it. It was a magical piece of pizza.
Okay.
Yeah, but that is good answer. Good place. What's one piece of advice you have for yourself, the world, me, whatever?
Kind of going back to the quote I said earlier.
Yeah.
Just treating everybody right. I think in the long run, it pays so many dividends to be a nice person, and it's so easy to be nice. It's legitimately hard to be mean most of the time. It takes so much less energy to just be nice. So, in terms of being nice, and then also just like I won't get on the mental health pedestal, but taking time for yourself and whatever that needs to be. But I guess it's my little piece of advice. It's not much.
I love it. And last question. Top 5.
Top 5?
Top 5. Like top 5 of anything.
Anything?
Your top 5
Okay. Pizza places.
pizza places.
I've never been to your Italian place, but I think I'm biased because I also worked here and I just have a lot of fond, nostalgic memories.
Mm-hmm.
Donato's pizza is top notch. I know it's not actually, but it is some top notch pizza. So that's number 1. Cici's Pizza back in the day. Do you ever go there?
The like buffet pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really wasn't good, but so many fun memories from Cici's Pizza.
Like, I feel like you got dumped there for like field trips and like birthday parties, but like you said, the things that happened there were just so much fun. It doesn't matter if the pizza was
I think like the kids, it was like a kids discount price or kids eat free under like 10. So like we were 12. It's always saying we were 10 whenever you showed up. Cici, I mean, I don't know if I put that at a 2 because like the quality of pizza is pretty low, but the atmosphere is an 11 out of 10.
Yeah. So wait, pizza place as a whole is 1 or Donato specifically?
I'm ranking pizza places and Donato's is number 1.
Gotcha.
I'll start at the bottom actually. Number 5 is Papa John's. Papa John's is like some not good. Number 4, Domino's. I'm not a huge fan, but sometimes it really hits. I think it's too greasy.
Okay.
But it hits every once in a while. Number 3, I would say Cici's Pizza because the atmosphere is electric. And then number 2, a place kind of by my house called Antonio's. Again, it's like a thinner type pizza. It's almost like Tommy's if you've been there.
Yeah.
But better than Tommy's.
Oh, my dad loves Tommy's.
And that's pretty good too.
Yeah.
I'd actually have to put Tommy's ahead of Papa. So if it's only on the top 5 and Papa's getting the boot and Tommy's is at number 5.
No one out Papa's the John.
Everyone out Papa's the John. Pizza Hut's not even in the top 10, bro. They're bottom tier.
I know, they're not great.
Yeah, and I would put the other place I was just talking about, Antonio's is the name of it, Antonio's Pizzeria. That's probably number 2. Again, probably for nostalgia reasons, but I guess that's top 5.
Gotcha. Probably, I love your top 5. I should probably re-explain top 5. It's like top 5 of like anything in your life. Just like 5
That's like a ranking listing.
Like 5 things in your life. Like, people have gone that way before, but for like when I've asked this like outside of the podcast. But for the podcast specifically, I'm gonna make have just a general top 5 and not like a list. But
I love it.
I love the fact that you did that, and I'm going to keep you. I'm gonna show you that in 5 years when you're talking about Chicago deep dish pizza.
Oh, I love deep dish pizza. That's on a whole different playing field though, so I couldn't put it on there. I think that's gotta be better than Donato's.
Okay.
So top 5 again, just in like top, just like
5
great
you don't
experiences.
You don't have to like rank them. Just 5 things in your life, whether that be, family, weed, or
all the important stuff.
Like anything you want, or like someone said like hiking. Someone said like the idea of something. I forget what it was, but it's like just 5 things that you would put in like your top 5 overall.
Family, friends, traveling. I was getting like specific travel memories. I got to go to New Zealand after freshman year with the Fisher Global Projects, and I saw Post Malone live when I was there. That's easily one of my favorite memories of all time. So that's awesome. On there. Traveling in general. And I'll kind of take this in terms of like things I like / things that are important. Soccer on there, and then this one's gonna feel weirdly not connected to the rest, but like work ethic. I think that those 5 things are very important, at least to me. I know
Yeah.
that they don't all five go together when you have soccer and work ethic and family
Yeah.
and traveling and friends, but those are pretty much the five most important things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing with top five. It's like they don't have to gel. It's just five things that really matter to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really good, really wholesome top five. I think that explains you to a T.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, I really don't know how to end this podcast still, even though it's been like
Still
6
ended?
episodes.
Thank
But-
you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
Of
And
course.
I don't know. Goodbye to the people, I guess.
See ya. Can't wait to watch this back in a year and be like, oh my lord, why did I say that?
It's funny.